Okay, Makia, looks like we are live both on
Okay.
LinkedIn and in the app.
Yep. Make sure.
LinkedIn, this is Career Tip Tuesday happening now. Just got that.
Mhm. Yep, I see it. All right. Happy Tuesday, y'all.
Happy Tuesday, everyone, and welcome to Career Tip Tuesday. I am your one of your co-hosts, Sherry Sims, founder of Black Career Women's Network. And Black Career Women's Network is an organization that really honestly helps Black women with their careers. Okay. I don't know how to say it. Been around for quite some time. We help you to create the positive change you want to see in your careers. And I have my amazing co-host. Would you introduce yourself, please?
Hi, everyone. My name is Makita Matthews, the Chief Network Officer. Thank you for joining us today. I know that y'all could have been doing anything, doing some work. So we're really excited and happy and thankful that you joined us for the lunch hour.
Yes, we are. We are happy and thankful that you have joined us. For Career Tip Tuesday, we know we always ask everyone to let us know where you are watching from. So please, hi Alicia, how are you? So please let us know where are you watching from. And Devon says, "Is it okay for men to join?" Absolutely, we have men join the conversation
Mhm.
too, so
We
it's
do.
okay. Absolutely. So we're before we get started, where are you all watching from? You want to know where you're
Yes.
watching from?
I am in Atlanta, Georgia. All of the Atlanta ladies, please connect with me on LinkedIn.
Yes, and I am in Cincinnati, Ohio. So, and here we are. So we see San Francisco and Delaware, Augusta, Georgia,
Augusta,
Arizona.
Atlanta. Hey,
Okay, Alicia. All right, and then we have Savannah, Toronto. Welcome.
Toronto. Hey.
All right, Southern Cal is in the house. Houston, another Atlanta metro. St. Louis and Tampa. This is great. We love it. We love
Mhm.
it. We love it. New York,
Mhm.
Cincinnati. Hey, Danielle in Cincinnati. All right. Cassandra in Kentucky. Eddie's in Warrington, Virginia. We have Kansas City in the house. Love me some Gates barbecue. Shout out.
Never been there, but clearly I must go. I see a couple of Chicago ladies. Hey, y'all.
I do. Hope you staying warm in Chi-Town. Absolutely. So, okay. So today's Career Tip Tuesday topic is about preparing for your next level. So this is just not a conversation around preparing. These are components we're going to share with you to get you thinking about what your next level should look like in preparation. There's a
Mhm.
saying that we have at BCWN when we talk about we do have a webinar called Leadership Boss Moves, and this is where we talk about preparing yourself for that next level of leadership. Because if you don't do the work where you are now, when you get there, you may not stay there, or you may not be successful if you haven't done the work in preparation for that next level, whatever that looks like for you,
That's
right?
right. That's right.
So we thought this was good, kind of a good time to talk about that.
That's
Um,
right.
so yeah, and how many of you are kind of thinking about your next level, right? Rikita's like me.
Me.
I am.
I am her.
How many of you are thinking of, maybe some of you are thinking about your next level. You maybe haven't taken any action towards it yet. But if you haven't, then this is a good time to consider what you need to consider if you're going to prepare for your next level or whatever that looks like. For you, it could just be a lateral move. It
Mhm.
could be maybe the next level. Maybe for some of you who aspire to be a leader, maybe you want to go into being you're a leader for the first time.
That's
Maybe
right.
some of you want to go into mid management, whatever that looks like. So this is kind of some really simple things that you need to consider when you want to prepare for your next level and whatever that looks like.
That's right. We have Brigitta, I hope I am saying your name wrong, McLeod saying she's preparing for that new role now. Now we're going to go into some of the elements, but I'm curious, how are you preparing for it now? What are some of the things that you're doing to prepare for that next level for you?
Yeah, put that in the box so we can hear about that, because I think
Yeah.
that's important to know.
Mhm.
Because some of you may say, I don't know what the hell I want to do, but I don't know what I need or what I
That's
want to
right.
do, right? And
That's
so
right.
hopefully this can give you a little bit of a baseline of things to consider, and then possibly think about what are be some of the type of resources or things you would
Mhm.
need
Mhm.
to help you to prepare. I should say prepare. I can't say that, Makita.
Prepare.
Prepare, prepare for that.
Prepare. Prepare. Yep.
Prepare for that.
That's right.
All
That's right.
right. So what do we have? Do we have anything on the screen you want to share to put on the screen, Makita? Any comments from that?
No, no. Let's go to um well, let's go to the first one. Brigitta again. I am so sorry. We're waiting for your answer, okay? I'm looking for you. I'm looking specifically at you, okay? But number 1, the first thing is of course doing an assessment. I'm still thinking. I'm sorry. I'm always thinking I still cannot seem to get it moving. Tell us a little bit more about that.
Mm-hmm.
Looking for you as well. But doing an assessment of your hard skills and your soft skills. This will help you to understand. We should all know what we're good at, but also where we need to improve for the next level. Are there new technical skills that you need to gain? And if so, let's create a plan of how you can do that. As it relates to the people skills, especially going into leadership, how you communicate, your personality, your communication style, the communication styles of the other folks on the team, as well as your leadership skills, your
Mm-hmm.
development skills.
Yeah.
Because now you are leading other people, now in charge of their development and helping them get to where they want to go professionally. So, doing an assessment of your hard and your soft skills, and then helping to close the gap, if there are any, to help you thrive and succeed in that second level. Sherry, what else do you think?
No, I think you covered a lot of that. So you definitely need to take an assessment of where you are, and then I think when we think about hard and soft skills too, you might want to go ahead and just throw in there, really look your self awareness about really knowing where you are. So we have a professional insights tool with BCWN that we use to kind of just take that. It's comprised of 7 different types of assessments that
Mhm.
help to create your work style, personality, your leadership style. It also really 7 components of this also breaks down your what motivates you, what your conflict triggers, what
Mhm.
are some things you need to develop, what is your leadership style. So there's so many different components to this specific professional insights tool that you can now go in and say, what's the best, how do I deal with conflict, and it will give you insights about yourself that
Mhm.
will help you to reflect on how you can handle it, or if it's about emotional intelligence, things like that. So when you're thinking about that next move, you also need to make sure that you're prepared from, like you said, hard and soft skills, but thinking about your self-awareness and who you are, how you show up. And we're going to break down some more elements of that as well.
Mhm.
So I
That's
want
right.
to add to
Right.
that.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. So, our friend Brigitta, thank you for helping me there. She says, focusing on my accomplishments and pairing those to the new role. That's great.
Mhm.
That's great. She also says networking up versus lateral. Ooh, that's a really good one.
Yeah, really,
Really good.
that's a really good one.
Mhm.
I always like to throw the lateral in there because some people may overlook the opportunities that a lateral role can bring. Now, when you think about making a lateral move, you need to be strategic with that, which means that there needs to be, even though you may not be gaining skill sets because you're kind of probably taking the same skill sets and using them in a different role,
Mhm.
uh, the whole goal was to think about the access you can gain, the visibility you can gain, and how can that help to expand your network if you're
Mhm.
making a lateral move. So you
That's right.
definitely need to think about it differently.
That's
But
right.
I like the networking up versus lateral. And
That's right.
actually, the lateral move should be networking up. If you have to think about it too that way, right? That it should offer that.
Yeah. Yeah. And also, I'll say don't underestimate the influence your peers have on leadership.
That's
That's
a good one, Makita. That's a super good one.
going through
Yeah.
it. So, so that's something that I've just had to learn from experience. There's somebody in your peer group that has the ear of the person or the leadership or whomever, has that say or that influence, that champion, whomever it is, to get you or to help you go to where you need to be. So don't
Yeah.
underestimate that.
And that kind of goes back to when we talk about in the managing conflict and maybe managing uh, office politics and culture. When
Mhm,
pay attention to someone, they may not necessarily be a leader, but they may be influential, right?
mhm,
So you have to
mhm,
pay attention to the people that you work with and see
mhm,
how they're
mhm,
moving and who they
mhm,
influence within that space, because
mhm,
they could be right up under your nose and not know it. So that's a really good one. That was
mhm.
really good, Makita. Thanks for sharing.
Thank you,
Sharing.
thank you. Yeah. Um, we have,
Tanisha.
Nisha Tucker. She says, "Hoping to move into the consulting field of vocational rehabilitation, as I've done for 7 years." Okay, we are rooting for you on that. Um, Dr. Yvette, says, "How do I sell myself as a leader after being an educator for 26 years? Where do we locate the soft and the hard skills test?"
Oh, well, Yvette, yeah, what you'll need to do is you'll need to download our app from either Google Play or from Apple Store. And then in the professional development folder is where you can find that assessment to take. And then let me know, and then we can schedule a time to go over that assessment with you.
Mhm, mhm,
Okay.
mhm,
As far as selling yourself as a leader, you probably have some natural leadership abilities. You just probably just
mhm,
aren't aware of what they are. So it's just
mhm.
time for you to kind of take an assessment of where things are and where you want to go, and kind of start from there. So so I will go ahead, download it. Let's get you going with the professional insights tool and start to work on that part of the development for you to
Yeah,
do that work.
yeah, yeah. So Eddie says her next level, prompt engineer. She's launched 2 chatbots, Vet Buddy AI for veterans, okay, and Migrations AI for immigrants.
Okay,
Wow.
love it.
Wow. Yeah.
I
I'm
love it.
interested in moving to an AI team.
Well, this is the best time to start positioning yourself for it.
Mm,
AI is the it thing right now, right?
that's right.
So if you launch those two chat box, toot your own horn, showcase what you have accomplished, and I would put that expertise all over LinkedIn and make that visible,
Mhm,
and
mhm.
start reaching out to some of these companies that you're interested in working for, and let them know what you've accomplished so far and how that could be of value to their organizations.
That's right. That's
Hmm.
right.
Yeah, make
That's
those
right.
moves like that. Yep, for sure. All right. And so Bridget says she's agreed. However, I've gotten stuck with the lateral network up with purpose. The lateral engagements have aided in shoring up my branding and skill strengths. Yeah, she
Mhm,
gets it, which is great. I love it. I love it. Danielle says I've connected with a recently retired exec who still has connections and has been a great advisor on navigating and selling myself in the org, especially up. Yes,
mhm,
that's
mhm.
great. I love that. Almost like a sponsor, so to speak, right?
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. Okay, so let's keep this
So,
going. You want to go to
yes.
the next one?
So number 2 is leadership development.
Mhm.
That is a huge one again, because at the new levels, there's potentially a new language, there's new risks, there's new successes, there's new problems. And so, getting a good understanding of what those could potentially be, because you never really know until you step into that role, and how to navigate them is extremely, extremely key. And some of the ways that you can do that is finding yourself a mentor internally, especially internal to your organization, but also external. to your organization, seeing how they were able to navigate things, understanding their development path and some of the leadership skills that they had to acquire or hone in on or elevate
Mhm.
um, when they got into their role.
And when you think about leadership development for someone who is saying, you know what, I want to be a director, I want to be associate VP or VP or chief. So do your due diligence to understand what leadership looks like at every stage of those levels.
Mhm,
Because the
mhm,
more you understand broadly what it will take to be a leader in those levels, then you'll start to probably naturally start to do some of the work
mhm.
that would be necessary for you to sustain those roles and understand what areas that you will have to internally work on to be successful as well. Because your
That's right.
sponsor can help you with, with certain things, your mentor can as well, but you have to do that part of the work. And so understanding what each level will require as a leader will help you to start to gain a little bit more of an idea of what you need when it comes time for
That's
you to
right.
elevate.
That's right.
Mm-hmm.
So Latavia says, Dr. Yvette, you should try LinkedIn Learning to help you learn and or test some of your hard and soft skills. You got to
Mm-hmm.
pay the price, which is about $40 a month, but it is so worth it.
Mm-hmm.
They have a lot of good courses aimed at professionals in leadership development. That's absolutely true. LinkedIn Learning is a great resource.
It is a great resource. It is a great, and I still think that in combined with the professional insights tool that would be helpful because
Mhm,
with the LinkedIn they do have the professional development, which is great, but the
mhm,
professional insights tool that we use gives you more about you. It's
mhm.
more about your learning more about you because it pulls from you from the core values that you have, the things that drive you, motivate you, that are important to you to comprise of those insights. So those things will ring true in terms of understanding what environment is important to you that you're able to thrive in, what leadership, who would you like to report to, what type of leader that you know that you want, how you want to be supported by that person. So knowing those things,
Yes,
that gives you that insight into more of who you are and how you show up from a workplace
that's right.
perspective. And
That's
but
right.
in LinkedIn Premium, I mean, LinkedIn Premium is worth it because the professional development, those tools are gold. And
Mhm.
they're fabulous. But I recommend those in addition to our professional insights tool because those courses can give you that personal insight that this tool that we have can.
Mhm.
I love that. Thank you, Latavia, for sharing that because it is a great resource.
Yep, yep, yep.
Mhm.
So number 3, conflict resolution. Sherry, I'm gonna let you take this one because I'm still learning.
She'll let me take the conflict resolution, right? Yeah, okay. Do you sure you want me? Because no, conflict resolution is important at all levels. And I think what happens with conflict resolution, I always say there's levels to this too, right? Because if you think
Mhm.
about someone who is in a entry level role, your conflict may come from maybe just a coworker who's at the same level that you're in, right? Maybe there's a
Mhm.
that may be your
Yeah.
problem that you have to
Mm,
resolve outside
mm,
of just the scope of the work that you do. If there's any resolutions that problems you need to solve within the scope of the work. Now, as you start to become a leader and you start to gain a level of influence, the conflict changes, right?
mhm.
Because now it may be about the scope of the work because people want to take credit for it. They want to have that visibility. There's all these other things that come into play when it comes to conflict resolution,
That's right.
personality conflicts, work style conflicts, leadership conflicts, hidden agendas, right? The characters in the office, I always say that you got the people who are, they may be your ally. Others may be someone who really is trying to take credit for the work. You have people who are the gossipers. You have all these different types of characters in the workplace that can cause issues.
Mhm.
And then
Mhm.
I'm a big believer in that we should be coming to work with inclusive behaviors, and these behaviors create healthy workplace cultures. And if we have people coming in with toxic workplace behaviors, guess what that does? It creates strife.
Ugh,
So you have to
yes.
be able
Yes.
to, one, understand how to have crucial conversations. You have to be comfortable with confrontation because a lot of people aren't. And there's way to have what I call healthy rumblings. which is those healthy, even though it may not be a comfortable conversation to have, whether you are either defending yourself because you feel like something was misinterpreted or something miscommunicated from what you said or what you did, or
Mhm.
maybe it could be that you missed a deadline and maybe you misunderstood, whatever that is. You still have to be able to get to a place to where you are comfortable with having difficult conversations.
That's right. That's right.
And that's really the bottom line with that. You
Mhm.
know,
Mhm.
there's a book called Crucial Conversations that I think is a great book, that you can order, that helps you. It gives you a lot of scenarios and ideas of how to have those conversations. It's tools for talking when the stakes are high.
Yeah. It is crucial for anyone, really everyone in the workplace to read. It really is. It really is.
Mhm.
So we have a question from LinkedIn user. She says, "Hi, ladies. Thank you for this panel. You are so welcome. I'd like to hear about how to become a thought leader and to step into it with confidence. I appreciate any insight." That's a really good one.
Well,
That's a really, really good one.
I think in order for you to want to become a thought leader, you have to be uncomfortable with having talking about topics that make others uncomfortable or make them think about certain things, right? So
Mhm.
if you cannot get comfortable with having those conversations, or excuse me, if you can't get comfortable with having the bringing up those topics or bringing up those subjects, whether it's you writing an article about a topic that you know that probably is going to be heavy on the different types of views, or if you do a reel and you give your thoughts about something and you know those thoughts can be that way. What's her name? Lovey. What's her name? You know who I'm talking about. Lovey. Her name was Lovey.
Lovey.
She's African. I can't remember her last name, but she's someone I think is very, she always creates thought provoking messages that
Uh-huh.
sometimes can fire you up or
Mhm.
get you in agreement with her, right? So
Yep.
if you're going to think about that, you have to be uncomfortable with the fact that not everybody's going to agree with what you have to say.
That's right.
It's
That's
okay
right.
because the whole goal is to get them thinking
Yeah. Yeah. I
about it.
I I agree, and I think with, um, being a thought leader, I always think of thought leaders think about something and bring to the table novelness, innovation, uh,
Mhm.
efficiencies, something that is not being done but could be done, but also providing the way that it could or should be done. So not only just bringing it up, but showing people how they can implement it. I think that that's really, really, really important. Or you're just bringing it up just to bring it up. Being helpful and helping people maybe implement some stuff, I think is really a part of being a thought leader. But bringing some innovation to the table
Yeah.
is I think,
That's
at
her
the
name,
basic.
Lovey Ajay. Yeah, I keep never submitting her middle
Yes,
name.
thank you,
That's her.
thank you,
Thank
thank
you for
you, thank
sharing
you.
that LinkedIn user. And Tanisha and Bridget also have, and Danielle, they all had gave us a name. That's her. So
Yes.
I think about her because she sometimes she says some stuff and gets some people fired up. Okay, so you're gonna agree with her, or you're gonna be like, she is off the rails with that thought process, right?
Mhm,
So again, it does take courage. It does take someone who really is confident in who they are and standing in their beliefs and their convictions, because you're not going to always get the warm
mhm.
and fuzzy popular vote on what you're saying. And I thought
That's right.
someone who's a thought leader, you have to be prepared for that. Another person I think is an amazing thought leader is Tim Wise. And Tim Wise is
Mhm.
he's a white man who's an activist, and he is like anti-racism, and he's the only white man I know that will call his people on the carpet about their behavior when it comes to
Mhm.
racism. And so you have to be comfortable of who you are and standing in your convictions if you're going to be a thought leader. So that's just something to think about if that's the route you want to take.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Thank you, y'all. So LinkedIn user also says, Brigitta, can you remind us of the book title, class name, and class name, please? Thank you.
Crucial Conversations. I did put the authors in the chat box.
Yeah,
It's like four of them.
yeah.
I typed all their names in the chat box. But it's a good. I actually took a class on this, and it was very, yes. I know, Belinda. I love Tim Wise too. He is the truth. Okay,
Mhm.
I love him.
Yes.
Um,
I think we're going to have to do a part 2 because it is almost 1 and I do have to drop off. Unless Sherry, you can continue. Um,
yeah, I can continue to wrap. So I can wrap. We can wrap it up.
okay. Okay.
Um,
Uh,
we
no,
had quite a few left, didn't
we
we?
do. I think let's just do a part 2.
Yeah, I'll wrap up with political savvy, and then
Yeah.
we can do a part two.
Yeah. Maybe tonight.
I can't tonight. We've got
Uh,
an elevating conversation tonight.
That's right. That's right.
Yes,
That's
we've got
right.
an elevating conversation tonight with a special guest.
That's right. That's
So
right. Y'all
mhm.
don't want to miss that one either.
We'll be back at 7 o'clock tonight.
Yes, we'll be back at 7 o'clock on LinkedIn Live in the app.
Eastern Standard
So
Time.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Mhm.
Okay, so political savvy. Go ahead and go.
Political savvy. Okay, so when it comes to political savvy, this is one of the things we talk about a lot, right? When it comes to understanding workplace politics and culture.
Mhm,
So as you think about what your next level is, you also have to think about where is your level of political savviness, and also understanding workplace politics and culture and the dynamics and what plays into that. Because the
mhm,
higher you go up, the more complicated and complex the politics becomes, right?
mhm,
So if
mhm,
you're someone who is an entry level uh, team player right now, you're probably not impacted much by politics. So you really don't have to know how to be politically savvy because you're a worker bee. You're kind of doing what you're, doing just the scope of your work, and that's it. You're not really
mhm,
influencing anything and creating change,
mhm,
making impact like that outside of the scope of your individual work. As you get into the areas where you're increasing your level of influence or your leadership, your visibility, all these things, you have to understand the levels of political savviness that play a part. Um, and that kind of breaks down the other ones that we have that we'll have to do in part two, because this kind of, now that we're talking about political savviness, these other things kind of fall under that are
mhm.
important for you to understand when it comes to navigating um, the workplace
That's
culture,
right.
and just the relationships, how you
Yeah,
cultivate those, and all of those things.
yeah. I unfortunately, being not being politically savvy, I think could really do some hard and some detrimental things to your career if you're not really going about it the right way. And I know it seems very unfair because you got the skills, you got the, hard and the soft skills and stuff, but the political savviness is really truly how you navigate through
Yeah.
the workplace.
Yeah. And I know that for me, my very first role as a leader, I was one of those women, and this is, way before we even thought a BCWN was coming ever in
Mhm,
life,
mhm, mhm,
and I was like, had an opportunity to become a manager with direct reports. And I was like, this is a great career move. I am so ready for this. But I really was not ready for it because, one,
mhm,
yeah, I was an subject matter expert in the scope of the work and was
mhm,
very impactful in being able to do that. But when it
mhm,
came to political savviness, I had none. And that
mhm,
right there was so detrimental to my job. It really was my demise because I didn't have the political savviness that was required to be in that role,
mhm,
and play the games at that level that I need to play. I refused to do it. I made it very vocal, and I was very vocal that I wasn't going to do it, and it cost me. And it cost
mhm,
me. And
mhm,
so
mhm.
you have to understand what this means, because this can be critical. Now,
That's
not
right.
every culture is this way, but for a lot of cultures, you have to be politically savvy in some way or another.
That's right. That's right.
Mhm.
That's right. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, this was great. I have to hop off, but thank you all for joining us. Again, like Sherry said, we do have a career conversation tonight at 7.
Mhm.
Very special guest. Y'all are not going to want to miss her at all. Um, on the lower third, we have our website, bcwnetwork.com. As Sherry also said, we have an app, a wonderful tool to have access to resources, tools, most importantly, the community, and some other things that are extremely helpful for your career.
Yeah.
Connect with us on LinkedIn. Follow us on LinkedIn if you are not. And oh, yes, we know there's a lot to being politically savvy. We're gonna have to have a part two to this conversation.
Yeah,
So
we do. And we actually have a whole webinar about
mhm,
managing workplace politics and culture. We have a whole webinar. But that's one you won't show. I will never show that one on LinkedIn because that one really has a lot of detailed information that really you'll have to sign up to be a part of that particular
that's right.
webinar because it's a
That's
lot
right.
of great information to help you to become
That's right.
completely savvy.
That's right.
So,
That's
but
right.
we'll post that soon.
Yeah.
But in other words, other than that, we'll be back for part two on our next Career Tip Tuesday. But tonight
Yeah.
we will have our monthly elevating conversation with our special guest. And so you definitely want to tune in because she's going to talk about her career journey. Political savviness is going to be one of the things we're going to talk about, among some other things as well.
Yeah.
Felicia, if you want to take the assessment, you need to download our app. And then once you're in our app, you will go to you'll go to the professional development portion, folder, and that's where you can
Mhm.
take the assessment. And then you can
That's
schedule, and if you want to kind of go over the assessment, you can schedule for us to have a professional insights session with you
that's right. That's right. And that's 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
for tonight. Yes.
Yes. Yes.
All
Yes.
right. I know she's got to go. I got to go. I know you all got to get back to work too.
Yes.
This was amazing today. The recording will be on here. So for those of you who watch the replay, you see part one today, and then we'll carry on with part two in our next segment of Career Tip Tuesday.
That's right. That's right.
Bye,
Have a
everybody.
good week.